We're joined now by Ohio Republican Congressman Mike Turner. Congressman, you are on the Armed Services Committee. I know you've been in contact with the administration to understand what is going on. The ranking Democrat on the Senate Intelligence Committee, Mark Warner, was briefed by Secretary Rubio, and he is calling this, Warner is a war of choice. He said there was no evidence of imminent harm to Americans or an imminent threat to our country. Were you informed of a specific and imminent threat to the United States?
Well, this issue of imminent is really this fallacy of that comes from the Obama administration's nuclear weapons, nuclear enrichment negotiations, where the Obama administration and the JCPOA set up this fallacy that we were just going to set up, cameras and watch Iran do this nuclear enrichment until they got all the way to a nuclear weapon, and then they were going to kick to the next administration whether or not there was going to be a military conflict, which is what we've come down to.
Detailed international accord with stages. There were parts at sunset.
But this concept of imminent, I mean, as we just saw from the international,
apart from imminent threat to justify U.S. military
No, but it's
force.
not, because it goes to really this inherent policy that we see that has, a thread that's come through the Democrat side that we still see from the Democratic Obama administration's policies of what is imminent. Imminent here really is that the Iranian regime continues to be a sponsor of terrorism and an amassing of missiles and inventory where they have declared themselves an enemy of the United States and of our allies, where they've committed themselves to nuclear enrichment and refused to declare themselves as not pursuing a nuclear weapon. And
they said they have.
Well, actually, they have not. As we have seen,
there were
even just last year, we had the head of the International Atomic Energy Agency saying that they were just mere months away from being able to have several nuclear warheads. So this imminent issue, this imminent issue is one where people want to have them, be, with their hand almost on the button to something that has been completely assembled. In this instance, the administration has declared that they had information, an imminent aspect of that Iran was a threat both to us and to Israel, our ally, and had the opportunity to take an action to eliminate that threat. That's important. We don't have to wait.
Which threat? Though?
We don't
because the
have
president
to wait.
Said the nuclear threat was obliterated, and none of the
No,
nuclear
he said
sites
that at those sites that
round.
we had taken action to eliminate, where there are nuclear enrichment sites, that we had obliterated those sites. But they had continued to amass missile technology and missile inventory. They had continued, as had been declared, to pursue their intention of nuclear enrichment. They had continued.
Rubio said they weren't enriching.
They had continued their intention to pursue nuclear enrichment. They had said and declared that they were going to do that. Their programs had not been completely abolished, and their intention had not been abolished. They remained a threat, and the fact that we had the ability to intervene, that imminence is incredibly important. This standard of what is imminent. I mean, you.
Well, people want to know why. Why now? That's why I'm asking.
Because the opportunity is there to eliminate an imminent threat that is an imminent threat to the United States and our operations and in the area and our ally.
I want to ask you about another standoff between the Pentagon and Anthropic, which is the only AI company whose products are used in classified systems for things like target ID, intel assessments, and battlefield simulations. This morning, the Wall Street Journal is reporting that their AI was, in fact, used in these operations, even though Secretary Hegseth and Trump ordered it to be cut off due to this contractual dispute over the use of the model. Anthropic's CEO told CBS in an exclusive interview that it is up to Congress to act here, to really create clarity as to how AI can be used. It's clearly essential if the Pentagon's still using it in this operation. Will Congress act here?
I mean, this is something that they're going to have to deal with and come to Congress before. This is, obviously in this particular circumstances, I'm unaware of this particular issue. This is going to have to be something that is going to have to be dealt with in more detail than obviously an interview on CBS.
Can I ask you, in that targeting of the supreme leader that Senator Cotton talked about, did the U.S. carry out that strike?
Well, I think this is very important. What's very clear here, and I think this is important to discuss, the President of the United States indicated that we were targeting the military infrastructure, and not the regime and not regime change. And yesterday, when I had the opportunity to talk to Secretary Rubio, I asked that question, and he was very clear in the answer that we did not target Khomeini, and we were not targeting the leadership in Iran. So the aspect of that the United States was not undertaking regime change is very important. Our aspect of what the President of the United States has undertaken was this imminent threat that he described in his announcement, and that I think his response and his statement to the United States is an important aspect.
But just to be clear, you're not saying that Israel carried out that strike without the U.S. permission, greenlighting, buy-in?
The fact that Khomeini has been a murderous authoritarian who has killed an unbelievable number of Israelis, they have an absolutely, I think, a strong basis in which to do so. And I think it certainly shows that if you're a murderous authoritarian and you're at risk, and it's better to be a friend of the United States than a murderous authoritarian. It's also interesting that Putin just said that he lost.
Speaking of murderous dictators,
that he lost a friend in losing Khomeini, and we certainly didn't see Khomeini as a friend.
We will leave it there. Congressman Turner, we'll be back in a moment with more Face the Nation.